Hey guys, welcome to Hurting Little Cows to the Glory of God. This is another part of the Overwhelmed Mama series. And so if you're new to this series, what we're talking about is the times that as moms, we feel super overwhelmed by things that are going on around us. And we take it out on our children sometimes and make them feel like a burden or treat them like a burden when the Bible says that they're supposed to be a blessing. And so what are the things in our lives that are overwhelming to us, that are causing us to sin against our children in a way that we're letting them know that they're a burden to us, even if we're not intentionally doing that, using them as the excuse of why we are overwhelmed instead of dealing with the things in our lives that we can have some say over and not be so overwhelmed. So each video is kind of addressing a different topic that might be overwhelming in your house. And so today's is about getting out the door. Because I know as a mom, so if you're new here, I am mom to 10 kids, 7 of them in the house that I have to get out the door at times. So some of them are self-sufficient. We have a 16-year-old, we have a 13-year-old. I have an 11-year-old with special needs who needs help with tying his shoes and that type of thing. I have an 8-year-old, pretty self-sufficient in those things. A 6-year-old who, depending on the day, can be self-sufficient or there's a lot of reminders needed. And a 4-year-old who sometimes, again, needs reminders. And a 2-year-old who needs help with getting his stuff done. So getting all of those people, we live in Maine. It is winter right now. Getting all of those people, making sure that they have socks on under the shoes, that they actually have shoes on and that they are shoes that are appropriate for the weather, that they have on a jacket or coat or whatever is needed for the weather, getting all of those parts and pieces, plus whatever we need to take out the door, which is at least a bag that we carry for medicine for my son and has diapers and stuff in it. I've got the hiccups. And, you know, if we're headed to church, we need the Bibles. If we're headed to a church luncheon, we need the food. If we're headed out in a couple days, we're hoping to go see friends. If we're headed out to their house and we need to have clothes because we're going to stay overnight, getting all those things out the door. So how can we not be so overwhelmed, causing us to sin against our children and still getting out the door on time? First one is going to seem very, very simple, and that is start earlier. But I know for me, I'm always trying to get that one last thing done. Oh, well, I could just start this, or I could just switch the laundry, or I could whatever. Even those things that only take 1 or 2 minutes, it's adding to the time that I'm not helping get people out the door. Even if that's just reminders of we need to get out the door, put your shoes on, getting started earlier. I would rather have kids be in their shoes and in their coats 10 minutes before we have to head out the door so that I'm not yelling at them or super stressed with them than being like sinning against them and causing a problem for them. So that's easy. Start earlier. It's not that easy, I know. Next thing, keep things I'm trying to read my notes and I wrote them a long time ago. Keep things readily accessible. So maybe that's keeping shoes near the door. Some people I know keep shoes in rooms and that's fine. But if I'm the one who has to get the shoes on the kids, it's hard for me to go to everybody's room and find the shoes. For our house, we have a shoe shelf by the door. That's where the shoes stay. And it's easily accessible to me. We also have a basket of matched socks that is right next to the door. And so we can just grab socks out of the bin. I'm not going into each person's room and looking for those things. Something might work better in your circumstance, but maybe this is keeping the diaper bag packed in near the door. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Maybe it's keeping, like we have a bag of medicines that are emergency medicines. Our son has seizures. And so these are medicines that if his seizure lasts too long, we have to give them. We keep that bag next to the door. So at home, if we need to give him medicine, we go to the bag next to the door and get the medicine out to give to him. But when we're ready to go out, it is right there, ready to just grab and take with us. A way to make sure that you take the right stuff with you. This isn't going to cover everything, but if you have a diaper bag you need to take, or you have a purse that needs to go with you, you have a medicine bag like we do, keep the thing. I keep my car keys on the medicine bag. So when we come in from the car, we hook our car keys onto the medicine bag. So we cannot leave the house without the medicine bag because the car keys are hooked on it. That's so when whoever's going to go start the car before we leave, because right now it's winter, so we have to keep the car up. Whoever's going to go start the car takes the entire bag out with the keys, takes it to the car, so that we know that we're taking that bag with us, if that makes sense. And then when we come in the evenings, we know that's where we put the keys. So if somebody forgot, you know, sometimes we come home and we start playing in the driveway and whatever, but you know that you're going to hook the keys onto the bag. So that has to come in because that's where the keys are eventually going. So if that makes sense, hook it to the bag. Keep those things near each other. So like right now we keep our Bible bag for church. That's what we call it. It doesn't actually carry most of the Bibles, but it's the bag that we take to church that have clipboards and coloring stuff for the little ones. We keep it next to the medicine bag. So even though we only take it out once a week, it stays next to the medicine bag. So on Sundays, it's right there ready to grab. If I had a separate diaper bag, I would keep it in that area. Or if I had a separate purse, it would stay in that area. My purse is a wallet that's inside the medicine bag because I have to take it with me all the time. But keep your diaper bag and your purse packed. So one of the first things you should do when you come home every time is to think, did I use something out of this bag and can I replace it right now? So if you come home from the store and you're like, oh yes, I had to change the baby because he pooped all over himself, that means the diaper bag needs a new change of clothes and a couple more diapers in it. And if you do that when you get home, then when it's time to go the next time, you don't have to think, oh, do I have the right stuff? One thing that we do is we keep a diaper box in our car. That's what we call it. So we have one vehicle that we normally drive. And in there we have extra diapers, extra wipes, and I've got some changes of clothes. And so I very rarely use the big kid change of clothes. So this doesn't really apply for that. But if you have little ones, and it's not a change of clothes for each person, but people who are potty training or for some other reason might need a change of clothes. Like if you have a child with a medical condition that still sometimes pees himself, that type of thing, having extra clothes with you. But the baby is the one that I need the clothes for. So what I've actually done, he's 2, so he doesn't regularly leak through the diapers, but there are those days that it sometimes happens. I didn't notice that he needed a diaper change or he got into something, he got really messy. I actually went to the store and bought an outfit that is one size bigger. So he wears 3 T's right now. I bought a 4T. It's actually a pajama outfit. You know, one of those like long sleeve shirts and pants. I bought it for really cheap at Sam's Club. And that is our car outfit. So when it goes, if we have to put him in it, which we've only had to do once since we've bought the outfit, but if we have to put him in it and it comes inside because it needs to get washed, then when we're doing the laundry, we're folding laundry and we see that outfit, we know that that goes directly back to the car. That is the spare pair. And for a little one, I really don't mind if we need to have him in pajamas at church because he leaked through his diaper. It really doesn't bother me that he would be in pajamas. Like I said, I do have clothes for my 4 and 6-year-old and actually my 11-year-old too because of his medical condition. But those very rarely get used. Those just stay in the car. But I know that if we jump in the car for a last minute thing, I have some diapers and I have some clothes in there if it's necessary. So that's how we work in our house. Take snacks or keep them in a car. Getting people out the door, there's always that, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I'm thirsty. As a large family, it is much cheaper to buy things in bulk than to stop at the gas station and buy a drink or to buy snacks. So we buy things at maybe Sam's Club, Walmart, water bottles, those types of things that we keep readily available. So depending on the time of year, and different people have different thoughts about this, but I try not to keep bottles in the car in hot weather so that they're going temperature change. But right now in Maine, our weather is pretty cold. We keep water bottles in the car and those water bottles might need to be thawed to be drank, but we have water available for the kids. And right now in the car, we have a big, I can't show you, big box. It's like 5 pounds or something of animal crackers that grandma bought for the kids. that is in the car. And so when we're at, like yesterday, we were leaving church, everybody was hungry because we were on our way home to have lunch, and everybody got a handful of animal crackers. Maybe different times it's been different for us. Maybe it's granola bars. Maybe it's nuts. We have a container of nuts in the car right now too. Maybe it's beef jerky. Maybe it's applesauce pouches. I don't know what it is for you, but because of climate, some of those things you might not want to keep in your car year round. Like right now, I have no problem with keeping granola bars in the car, other than they might be a little frozen and hurt teeth, but they're not going to be melty and gross this time of year. But have something available for the kids, because having something quickly available either in the car or something that you know you grab when you walk out the door will make the getting out the door easier, instead of trying to think of it at the last minute, knowing what you're going to take. And then the other thing is to have a buddy system. We don't, in our family, want our older children to be parents to the younger children. We want to be the ones who do the parenting and everything. But having a buddy system of, if I just say, can you big people help little people put on their shoes? Everyone's going to think it's someone else's job. But if I say, Abigail, can you make sure Malachi finds his socks and shoes? She can walk with him and help him get those things. Again, I have to be around to make sure that he is obeying her by doing the thing that she's asking him to do. Those hiccups are coming back. By doing the thing that he's been asked to do, but she's the one who can physically walk over there and do that while I'm putting shoes and socks on the little one or something like that. I can do this now with the 2-year-olds, but I didn't do this with when they're really little, when I'm still like needing to change the diaper, or make sure that they're just dressed in a better way. Does that make sense? But this would be maybe like the 2 and up, helping a bigger person, helping the little people, just to make sure that they get their things, or just making sure that it's like, okay, now it's time to walk out the door and this person doesn't have a coat. They don't know where it is. Being able to help find those things. Again, if you keep those things somewhat close to the door or in a place where they know this is where we're going to find this thing, it will be less frustrating for the big kids to help the little kids. But anyway, that's just one way to help keep the frustration level down in your house while you're doing the things that all the moms need to do, of getting people out the door for appointments or activities or whatever it is. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any suggestions or questions, ask in the comments below. We'll see you guys next time on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God.